Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead, and I've been missing Max, but
Hey,
our schedules have been colliding recently.
Well, I think that, with everything he's got on his plate with the other shows,
Yeah,
he should be able to rest and get away from us. I know we're frustrating.
He'll just drop in like a Marvel cameo in some other Marvel movie or something. So like Lobo dropping in on Supergirl.
I love how you've already crossed over the different universes.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, I don't know about you, man, but so, folks, we've been at Anime Blues all weekend, which is under new ownership. You notice it, too. I'm just going to be honest. It's a different company that's running.
There's a different vibe going on, and I don't know, maybe a little bit that adds to that vibe is the fact that this is the first time we've been anywhere where we're promoting strictly Geek Tank Radio. Yeah,
we're promoting, folks, Anime Blues Con, which is celebrating, I want to say, its 14th year. George finally sold it. He's retired. The guy works hard. He's earned his retirement from there. But
yeah, I mean, he's a good dude, but he looks tired.
Yeah, George, go take a nap, man. But the thing is, it's a different company that took over Anime Blues. So you do notice it, but it's still Anime Blues.
Well, we're still surrounded by all the same folks that we've been working with the conventions. A lot of the good old local teams are there to do their stuff. And it's just, it's a different vibe, but at the same time, this is like the first time I've done any promotion since Mid-South Con.
Yeah.
And I feel a little off myself.
Well, I was going to ask you something about that. Okay, I don't know if there was a line in the seventh book of Harry Potter, right, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Because that is your philosophy.
Right. Well, it was basically, spoiler folks if you haven't read the book, but it was when, you remember when they were all going to take Polyjuice Potion and disguise themselves like Harry.
Right.
Okay, so he had a house, he's at the Dursleys' house, and he's got a house full of wizards.
Yeah.
And he was looking around, and he said he was feeling unusually fond of all these people.
Yeah.
Like, these were people that have been through the ringer with them. They've been through the battle, and now they're all putting their life on the line, and Harry's looking around, and he was just feeling very, just really connected to these people. Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I felt this weekend, surrounded by our table mates. We have, Station Shelby next to us, and then across there we have the fur meat, and then we have cosplay. We have all these great local geeks that are just they're very sincere. They're good people, and I wanted to celebrate those guys.
Well,
today.
yeah, and then that's not to take anything away from the folks inside the vendor room too, who have either vended with us or we've worked with them in some form or fashion across. It's just really good to see everybody back together, even if we're not doing our own show.
Well, there's something, I feel like, obviously change is in the air. And I, for some reason, I don't know, there's just different things happening right now. But Memphis geekdom is also resilient.
It's very resilient.
And new things will crop up out of the blue and they reignite. Like, I always think of those, the Beale Street Monster Club. Look at what they've done to inject some life into
I mean,
geekdom,
those guys, and I don't think anybody has a bad thing to say about them. They're such a positive force in Memphis geekdom.
Right.
I'll say the same thing about the folks over at Otaku Asylum. I mean, they're a ragtag group that they've lost venues multiple times because of the places that they're at. All of a sudden we don't have the business, the economy's bad, we're shutting down, but nothing seems to get them down. They're like, all right, well, we're just going to go on to the next place.
What is Otaku Asylum doing these days? Because, I mean, they have a lot going on.
The last thing they did that I knew that I was, really privy to was they did AFK, which was a geek gathering down at Flyway Brewery. They had, it's like they had cosplayers and 901 wrestlers and stuff like that. And it was kind of a first-year event at a brand-new location. Nobody had really done anything like this before. And they still pulled in a good chunk. They pulled in more people than our first Star Trek day.
Oh, okay.
And maybe our second Star Trek day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to give a shout out to the folks over there because Omar especially because they put in the work and they want positive things and they want to work with anybody who's willing to work with them is in the geek community.
Right.
And we need more of that.
I just wonder what's going on because a little look back in time, folks. 15 years ago, there was, so to speak, there was really only one big convention in town, Mid-South Con, and then ShadowCon was sort of a very exclusive, like 200-person drinking party for the SCA.
It was ShadowCon was a party, Mid-South Con was a convention, and you had GameCon Memphis.
That's true, GameCon,
and that was for your hardcore gamers, but yeah, you had things that moved in and out, but nothing that really stuck.
And then we started Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention in 2010, and then a year later, Anime Blues launched. Although they were in preparation at the same time as us, but the thing is, when we started Geekdom, I mean, it was a big deal to have a convention.
Yeah.
Now it's not because now everybody came in and said, "Well, I'll do one, and then I'll do one, and then you have out of town people." And I feel like there's a reset happening because some conventions are putting a pause on things.
Yeah,
you can't have a convention every month.
No, because you end up diminishing returns,
right.
And everybody's trying to outdo each other. But it really does, lead to people going, "All right, I can go to this one and I can go to that one, but I can't go to this one."
Right.
So they have to make those decisions, and it adversely ends up affecting everybody.
Right. So we're in a weird spot right now. It's kind of like it's reminded me of the whole thing of nobody goes to Coney Island anymore because it's too crowded. It's
right.
It's like, well, what do we do with this? So we're all taking a step back, but I think as Memphis geek fans, I don't know why. I'm just feeling like we're all sort of at a point where we all have to kind of work together and huddle together. Maybe that's why I'm feeling so sentimental with all of our table mates this weekend.
It very well might be a big part of it.
Yeah. So I think what we should do, Brandon, why don't we do that? Why don't we celebrate that a little bit when we come back, and then maybe we could take a look at what the future holds for Memphis fandom.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead, and we're just sort of, it's a Sunday morning. We've got our final day of Anime Blues coming up, Anime Blues Con coming up. We're heading over there. And Brandon, before the break, we were talking about basically the reset that's happening in Memphis fandom and looking around at our table neighbors, here at Anime Blues Con, because we've been sitting here promoting. And if you don't know, folks, I should say one of the courtesies in most conventions, I won't name the other ones, but most conventions are pretty good about if you're a local fan group or something, or even just another convention, you're invited to have a promotional table there, and they give you a couple passes, and you set up and you promote your event, which is the whole notion of a rising tide lifts all boats. So,
right.
So we're doing that to promote Geek Tank Radio, but that means we've got other geeks nearby promoting, and they're all friends of ours. We've all worked together. We've all been through battles together.
That is true. So. I want to put a spotlight on one of our newer compatriots. They've been around a couple of years, and that is Station Shelby. And our good buddy.
Well, you say that, but they've been around for
under
that banner
as an official charter member of the Federation.
Right.
They are a is it internationally recognized Star Trek group at this point?
I think so. It's a Star Trek fandom.
Let's just be honest. It's an intergalactically acknowledged chapter.
And our good buddy James Weekly is the captain. Well, no, I think he's the commander. But
he is Captain James Weekly, commander of Station Shelby.
And apparently, you have to go through more training to become a commander in that federation than you do to go to medical school or something. I mean, he studied for like 2 years.
He was talking with us at this last Star Trek Day about how all the stuff that they had to go through, and of course they christened a new charter. What I don't remember what the name of that one is, but they're out of Jackson. Right. And it's just like, again, this is all about that community outreach. The fandom community is alive and well. especially when it comes to the Star Trek, fans.
Right.
And I even if you're not a Star Trek fan, you can't help but admire the the stuff that James and them are doing.
Yeah.
And
they do charity work too.
A lot of charity work.
But it's interesting because, you don't get the watching the special features on a Star Trek movie or watching a YouTube video about stuff. That's nothing. That's not the same. You have to meet these people in person.
Yeah, again, ever since we've had Shelby County Star Trek Day, and Steve and Amy Mulroy had kicked it off, and we're going to blame you as well because they like to blame you for the fact that this keeps going.
Well, I did talk them into doing it every year.
That's true. It's just I have watched this group grow from what was basically we had 17 people at the first one, and we had just under 120 people at the latest one, which marked their the 10-year anniversary.
Because it was 2014. Yeah, no, it was
11.
And they skipped a year. So it was about the 10th.
Yeah, it's the 10th official Star Trek Day, but it was 11 years since the first one.
Right.
And it was just and now it's you see the group is growing, and when we were at Mid-South Con, there was a young lady who had just moved into town and immediately got in with their group. Right. And they're welcoming, and there's what you see sometimes in fan groups is a lot of gatekeeping. Mm-hmm. You're not going to find that with them. They have no problem sitting down and answering questions about the fandom, about the shows, about pretty much anything you want to talk about Trek with. They're there. And then outside of that, they're just a wonderful group of people.
They're cool. If you can't get along with James Weekly or Siri or any of those guys, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, it's not something on their end if you can't get along with them. It's definitely on your part.
But the other thing about them is you learn stuff when you're talking to them. They're actually really highly intelligent. Well, James is a teacher. He's been a teacher for years.
I think so, Siri.
Is she a teacher?
I think she used to be, at least. I may be wrong, but you talk to her and you get that same vibe of okay, I'm in a class,
right?
And the two of them have done panels for us at MCFC, basically since the inception.
Yeah, as long as I can remember.
It's like they usually throw down with either Star Trek or Batman.
Well, and what I've noticed about all the best things in geekdom and here in Memphis geekdom is everything happens organically. Yeah. Like nobody sat down and said, okay, here's our 15-year plan. We're going to have a Star Trek group that's going to launch in 20 such and such, and we're going and everything happens naturally. Like I dare say, Station Shelby probably wouldn't have happened without Shelby County Star Trek Day, which wouldn't have happened if Steve Mulroy didn't decide, you know what, I'm going to make April 9th, as I sign out of office, Star Trek Day.
Yeah, it was his last day as a county commissioner.
Right. It was just a joke, basically, he said. It was just for fun.
It started off as a lark, and then the Shelby County Commission came in the next year and made it official. Right. It became annual, and we were the first place, the first county in America, or maybe even the world,
probably
to
the
have
only one still.
An official Star Trek Day on the holiday books.
It's the books, yeah. I mean, it is a official holiday. That's bragging rights. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, somebody had to have that idea. Hats off to Steve for doing that. And it wasn't about money. It wasn't about. It was just like I'm a Star Trek fan. I love Star Trek. This is how I want to celebrate it.
And that's the other thing is that Star Trek Day, it's a free event.
Right.
The only thing you pay for is whatever you order at wherever we're at.
Right.
Which is right now we're at Neil's and
in April. It's usually around April 9th because that's when Star Trek Day is.
It's usually the weekend, right around there.
Right. But things happen naturally and for basically what I would say good good intentions and good causes, and so that's just one of the groups we want to celebrate. There's a couple of other nice groups here, nice fan groups here in Memphis that we want to celebrate when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead. And if you're just tuning in, I should say, we are, I don't know, maybe, are we getting nostalgic today? Going to Anime Blues this weekend under new ownership, I'm just going to be honest, who are not from Memphis. They're nice enough people. It's just, I've noticed it's making me more conscientious about Memphis fandom because some of it is struggling right now.
It's true.
We've got conventions that, well, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Memphis Comic and Fantasy is restructuring, let's say.
Restructuring is a bold term because I'm gonna be more honest. It's like we needed a break.
Yeah.
The truth is we need a break, and who knows what form we might be later on.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the Comic Expo, things like that.
Yeah.
There's we basically hit a saturation point in Memphis with too many events, just way too many events, and which is unsustainable. And also, it sucks the fun out of it. If literally there's an event every 4 or 5 weeks, who cares anymore? It's like you need some break. So it's what is it? I can't miss you if you don't go away.
Right.
It's like so. But what that's making us do is we're sort of stepping back and just. I would say the groups we're celebrating today are what I would say the heart of Memphis fandom because these are pure. These groups don't even, as far as I know, make very much money or any, if any. And we're just kind of like they're in it because they love their fandom.
They love what they do.
So here's another one. So we were just celebrating Station Shelby, which is the local Star Trek group. I do think we ought to give a quick shout out. Here's a group that you talk about not making money and doing it purely for the love of their art is the Mid-South Cartoonists Association.
Yeah, that's true.
Now they're not set up this weekend. I don't think. I haven't seen. I
haven't seen anybody there. We'd have to actually ask Lynn or Greg if they're going to be set up. I haven't seen them inside the vendor room, but there's so much going on inside the vendor room that I think I've seen Allie D.
Right.
Who is one of the local artists and probably the most. I mean, she's
positive
basically
person. Yeah.
If you need sunshine in your life, go visit her at her booth because no matter what's going on, she has a way of just like infecting you with positivity.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's already. I was watching her. I was talking to her as she was setting up, and she's already made friends with everybody around her. She's like all the other artists that are in her lane. They're all. Making plans to hang out after the convention.
Yeah, and she's a lot like, the folks over at Station Shelby. If you don't like Allie D, that's a you thing. That's not
you have a human
thing.
Problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
because she's one of the most positive, upbeat, and sweet humans that is a part of the fandom.
And she's just one of many. I mean, folks, if you're new
so many good folks.
If for some reason maybe you're like, I don't want to go to some geek convention. First of all, it's just fun, but also you're going to meet some of the nicest people. The fans are just genuinely fun and good people.
Yeah, and I mean, and that just kind of goes for a good chunk of our local artists across the board.
Yeah,
and yeah, when it comes to the Cartoonists Association, they bring a level of not only professionalism, but also a level of legitimacy.
Right. Because they're highly talented. These are like professional cartoonists. And I should say, folks, they have monthly meetings. They're free. Yeah. And it's over at Garibaldi's Pizza in their meeting room. And you're getting, if you're like an aspiring artist and you're thinking, well, I could use some help, or I don't know, I don't know how to get published or whatever. You get professionals giving you free advice one-on-one. I mean, that's a pretty good resource.
I'm going to say it differently. If you are an artist, deep in your heart and everything else, but you're feeling a little downtrodden because you're not reaching that level of success, you're not, getting that recognition, go hang out with these guys because it will get your creativity pumping back up. It'll remind you why you got into it to begin with.
That's true.
Because they do it for the love of the art.
And they've been doing it since the 80s. So this is what I mean. This is the heartbeat of Memphis geekdom. Yeah. Is people like that. Well, what about this? What about cosplay? Which you probably ought to explain.
All right, so cosplay are
CAUS.
CAUS.
Yeah.
They are a group that is usually set up with a. I mean, they're charity focused as it is, but they're also there on hand to help you fix anything that might fall apart on your cosplay in the midst of a convention.
Which sounds funny, but honestly, think of that.
Yeah.
You got giant wings, or you got something, and it just falls off.
You built
What do you do?
you built a giant sword out of foam, and for some reason it snapped on one spot, and you need somebody. They're always on hand to lend a hand. And it's all for good causes. That I don't know exactly.
Free costume repair. That's basically what they do.
And again, it's like, I don't know who may be working the booth when you get there, but if you get there and Garrett's there or Nikki are there, they're also just fun and wonderful people to talk to. You don't even have to talk.
Yeah.
You don't even need a costume repair issue. You just go and you talk with the folks who are working the table, and it again, heart and soul of Memphis geekdom reside within these fan groups.
It's pretty cool. Like if you go up to their table, they've got hot glue guns and a little drill, and they've got all these and sewing kits and all this. It reminds me of like MASH, but
Yes.
for costume repair.
That's 100% what it is.
It's like a triage.
Now when I get back up there, I want to run over and tell them at the table. It's like, hey, you guys should just dress up like the characters from MASH.
It is. It's like, maybe they need like a Red Cross armband or something around there. But see, that's the thing. It's like, whatever convention you're at, that's the stuff I enjoy is talking to these fan groups.
I mean, I don't go to conventions for the celebrities.
Right.
I'm not
rarely.
I'm not enamored by any of them.
Yeah.
That's not to say I haven't enjoyed meeting the ones that I've worked with, but they're not my focus.
Right. Yeah, it's true because okay, let's just be honest. If you go to a convention to meet a celebrity, the reality is you don't. It's like, hey, how you doing? I love you in that movie. Thanks for this. Could you sign my whatever? Yeah. And you shake their hand and take a picture, and that's pretty much it.
There's a handful of them that you can make a connection with, where it's but for the most part, that's your interaction.
Right. All right, so we're going to continue to celebrate Memphis geekdom when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead, and we're on the final day of Anime Blues Con over here at the Renaissance Center downtown, and we've been surrounded by some of our favorite Memphis fan groups here. We're out here promoting Geek Tank Radio, and Brandon, I strategically saved this last group that we want to talk about for last, just because I think they're some of the most misunderstood people. Let's be honest, they will admit some of their fans take things a little far that I can't totally
I know
support.
You're talking about.
But for the most part, they're some of the nicest people I've met, and that's the furries.
See, you giggle at that, but the truth is,
well, I'm just thinking of the videos that I've seen on those guys.
Well, no, you've seen videos about and they're always from a point of view where it's like, look at these, and stop it.
Yeah.
The Method Fur Meet is probably one of the most genuine fandom groups that you'll ever meet.
Yeah, their convention's coming up. Our buddy Josh Lincoln is always there promoting, and now I'll give them this. They put a lot of effort into their promotion booth, and every year they have a different theme, so they have to change basically all their props every year.
And Josh will take it and they'll whatever the theme is, he will run with it, and he will. He can dominate a promotion area. The man at 1 year at MCFC, they were doing a castle theme, and he elevated part of his table so that his table kind of like it almost had a tower security look over everybody else's table. It was so cool, and I think their theme this year is going to be space. Because
he's got astronaut stuff over there.
It's just the creativity and the dedication whether you're whatever their theme is each year, it just they put on a good show as it is. They've always been welcoming and helpful. If you're setting up your booth and you're missing a clip or a tablecloth,
he loaned us a tablecloth.
He did. He loaned us a tablecloth this weekend because ours went missing.
Well, we had 2 tables. This is the kind of stupid things you run into, folks, when you're doing this as much as we do. Like, okay, well, we were expecting a 6-foot table, and we have an 8-foot table, and that
so our stretchy cloth won't fit on it. And our old tablecloths that they disappeared one year, and it's like we've just never been able to find that style again. And they were the perfect style. But yeah, it's.
And when you're on site and you have to do something, well, suddenly you're on a hunt for a random tablecloth.
Yeah, and what's also great is Josh always has pretty much what I would refer to as the survival kit.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to it, because
every kind of tape,
scissors, clips. He
fishing wire.
always runs power. No matter where he's at, he will find a way to run power to his booth, and he'll have stations along the way where other people can plug in.
Maybe we shouldn't say that. I don't know if we paid for the outlet, but
hey. By the time anybody listens to this, he's already on his way home.
But the thing is, that's what's interesting. Whenever you do promotional events, because sometimes you show up, and even places you're familiar with, you get thrown a curveball. It's like, oh, okay, well, this wall doesn't have an outlet, or this wall's got the sun blaring through the window, and every setup is different. And it seems like the furries, they're always just very calm and collected, and they always have a great looking booth. And like you said, they do put on a really good show.
And again, they don't let the naysayers or the negativity affect them, because when it comes down to it, the only people in fandom that are more true to themselves than furries are Rennies.
Oh yeah.
Don't laugh about the Rennies either, because
they carry weapons. So.
Not only do they carry weapons, but they put these guys who do things like the Fur Meet or the Renaissance Fair or cosplay or the fan groups like Station Shelby. They put their heart and soul into this.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, they're welcoming, they're kind, and they're not going to look at you and go, "Well, you only know Lower Decks. You can't hang out with us."
Yeah.
They're like, "Dude, I love that part in the Lower Decks. Did you see when they did the live action crossover with Strange New Worlds?" And then you get into these conversations that you never expected to have.
You're reminding me of something, because like Hollywood doesn't portray these guys right. Like, you remember that movie where it was those Star Wars fans were going to break into to steal the Phantom Menace so they could see. It was something.
Well, they were on
and they basically had to do battle against the Star Trek fans. And both groups came off looking terrible.
Yeah,
but they're not all that way. That's just a Hollywood version of nerds. So
Trek. Look, first of all, there is no Trek versus war anymore.
Right.
It's war versus war versus war versus war, because Star Trek fans are amazingly calm and collected, and you don't have to agree on everything to welcome each other. Star Wars fans, if you will find
really is a war.
You will find 2 Star Wars fans who will fight over whether or not Han's long sleeve jacket is better than his vest. I mean, and they'll get into a fight where they will basically try to obliterate one another while another Star Wars fan is sitting there watching it.
Yeah. And I would say,
and stirring the pot.
Oh yeah, and I would say the other refreshing thing is, in this era of AI art, which you see now, it's everywhere. It's on. You can't even look at a Facebook post without it being made by AI or anything. But for the most part, I there was a couple of booths that I wasn't sure what I was seeing this weekend. But for the most part, when you go to an artist booth, what's exciting is that artist made this work, and they're sitting right there, and they'll tell you all about it. And
what
I appreciate that,
and why why they're they're selling this size print of it as opposed to that, and they'll go into the details. And sometimes they may go a little overboard, but you can see the love and the passion and just the I don't know what to call it that they've put
imagination,
into this.
man.
It's just.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. So it's reaffirming. So folks, I would say, get if you need to feel better about the world, go to a convention.
And,
you know what I mean?
And I want to take a minute to actually say thank you to VXB for keeping Anime Blues alive.
That's true, yeah, because it is sort of a staple here in the Memphis community. But Brandon, we got to get out of here. The show's over. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
And I am Brandon Olmsted, imploring you to come out to the Renaissance Center today and meet all these wonderful people we were celebrating.